I request all of you to please welcome our panelists here on stage as we once again request architect Raman Vig, founder, Bioenergetic Architecture, to join us, along with architect Vivek Gupta, principal architect, Arvind Vivek and Associates. A round of applause as both of them step forward, please. And may I now hand over to Ms. Sen Gupta.
So Raman, my question to you is that, we are talking about various aspects, we're talking about sustainability, Nayan just mentioned the rules are changing, various aspects. There are 100 things that a designer really has to start off with when the design inception happens. What are your thoughts on what are the primary points that when you're looking at rethinking the methodology of architectural design, what do you think are the challenges that a firm really or a designer really faces?
Actually, this topic itself, when I first read it, rethinking architectural methodology, the first thought that came was it should be rethinking architectural consciousness. Because once we shift our consciousness, the methodologies shift by themselves. And anyways, there is nothing no universal methodology that exists in architecture. And there also, whether we are talking of a methodology of conceiving an architecture, or we are talking of methodology of delivering an architecture, all these thoughts are open for the discussion. But one thing I want to just pick up from your previous statement on what has this pandemic done to us. I think it has brought a major shift in the consciousness. And I would say for myself and the people I know, I cannot speak on behalf of everybody, but a lot of people have understood one thing very clearly, that there is the African proverb called Ubuntu, which means that my well-being is inherent in your well-being or our collective well-being. And nothing better than the times of COVID have illustrated to us than this realization that well-being of us, call it person, call it society, call it species, is so inherently tied with the well-being of the planet that, this is perhaps the shake-up call from the nature that came our way. Otherwise, it would have taken many, many more decades for this consciousness to come hit. Now, how does it translate? It translates that when now we are talking, or the client is discussing with us, and you talk about anything related to sustainability. In fact, that word has been so overused, I would keep it aside. Absolutely. I would say, just when you talk about being logical, then costs, numbers, of course, they are important. But they are not in the forefront. Everybody started to look at design from a sense of holism. And that was not present just 2 years ago, and that's a shift. Now, how much of it we can retain further as we go ahead, and, God willing, these times are good. Do we remember these lessons and retain this consciousness is more important. And as far as sustainability aspects are concerned, I think we are way beyond what should be. Niti Aayog 2018 has clearly stated that by 2030, 20 of the cities of India would have depleted groundwater, would have no groundwater. Now we are sitting, 8 years from that point. Now when there is no groundwater, where is the water for construction coming from? At least the kind of construction that we are doing, the wet construction. Each square meter, I think these numbers are very important for us to register. Each square meter of built-up area, and this is a research paper in Indian context, takes about 17 kiloliter of water, both embodied as well as what is used at site. Now that was a number. Now imagine a very small house of 100 square meters. We are looking at 17 into 100 kiloliters of water. Now that is amount of water a family of 4 at an average of 135, 150 liters per day would consume over 8 to 9 years. So do we realize that we are living in an environment where construction takes that much of water and we don't have it? So all these, I won't say lofty, they are very much required. These steps that we are taking towards sustainability are definitely required, but much, much more is required. And that is our outlook of what defines luxury.
Sure, and that's a very good
So
point.
I think
and it
I'll
kind
leave
of
it at
becomes
that open.
imperative where you are looking at optimal usage and where is the thin line between what you need, what you could have more, and where is an architect who's given you the response that yes, I will be, a practicing architect has told you, yes, I will be replaced by AI. Please do let me know.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, sorry, Nayan, because it's related, I'll continue. I'm going to burst your bubble. The fact is, as we are talking today, the state of art in AI is that intention decoding algorithms are already there. In China, they are using predictive policing.
Exactly.
We already have IIT doing 3D printing. Now, that's the state as of now, as of yesterday.
Yeah.
Within the next 10 to 20 years, you are going to have emotionally aware machines.
Yes.
You're going to have 3D printed food. So definitely, building ki technology to kahin pahunchegi na. The answer is, it's high time, it's as of yesterday that we start realizing. See, we have had a poor habit out of our education system that we are given a problem and then we solve it. And throughout our life, we remain like that. Here, we need to go ahead and not find a problem, become a part of that reality which is going to happen. And Nayan has already pointed towards the fact that metaverse is a whole new world where we, as architects with our competencies, would find some occupation. Yes. More importantly, all the mechanisms that have to come. AI कोई तो लगाएगा ना, कोई तो बनाएगा, और उसके लिए वो जो competency चाहिए, that means architects need to partner with the right engineering, right investment.
Definitely need to
be a part of that ecosystem. So replacement is not the right word. Important thing is if we are aware and we take right actions, we become a part of that which is inevitable anyways.
So change is imminent.